I don't know. It's hard for me to just entertain like multiple women like that. I tried to do that at one point because I thought that that's what you do, but then it's like I ain't really just got the mental faculties to be like remembering all these girls' birthdays, you know, what they did today, XYZ.
For sure, so I had to be letting you go. Something that you should know. Doing better, and you doing better. We better go our separate ways. But there's no way that I could stay. But there's one thing that I can say, that I'm doing better, and you doing better, much better.
The song is called Nick's Room. We recorded this not in my room. So like the backstory behind the song is that, you know, it's kind of a play off of Drake's Marvin's Room. You know, we had us a little group we started called Sodies, you know, just messing around, listening to stuff. So one night we at Cortland House, you know, we just messing around with, you know, a song. We had a beat from Cortland's cousin Timbo, you know, who in the producing now, and then we just up, 4 a.m. or something, and then we end up making this song, you know, like, I'm tired. Like, if you listen to the beginning, it's like, I'm tired, man. I think my girlfriend at the time, like, I don't know, you grow up, you just realize that, you know, you young love, that puppy love, you know what I'm saying? And then you get caught up in it, and you realize, you know, this may not necessarily be for me, or like, you know, because things kind of moving kind of fast. You talk about, you know, I don't know, the next steps that I wasn't ready for, you know? So I was like, we need to just go ahead and just go our separate ways, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing better, you doing better. I tried to, you know, make it a positive thing for both of us. Like when I first wrote it, it was just like, I'm doing better. But then I was like, you know, it ain't always about you. So that's how this song kind of came about. I would say, I remember that when we did make songs at this stage, it was like someone to put a beat on, and then we'll just let it play on repeat, going over and over and over and over again, whatever. And then we each had a little sheet of paper. You just writing on a little sheet of printer paper, you know what I'm saying? So I go get some paper from the printer, and then you just write on there to be all over the place. And then, like, one thing that I kind of still do now is, like, I'll write my bars out if I do write, and then on a piece of paper, and I'll just put a number beside it and then circle it and be like, this is number 1, and I go here 2, this is 3, come back to 4, that's 5. And so, like, that's probably how that song came about. Like I said, we were at my friend's Cortland house, Colo M. Dolo, shout out to my boy, you know what I'm saying? And his cousin is Tim. Yeah, Tim, like, he was been nasty with the beat game, and then, you know, I don't know whether or not this was around that time or before that time, but he ended up moving to Atlanta. He getting his stuff going already, so, like, we just, you know, just the younger tier in the family just supporting the older tier type thing. And then, so, we just got on it. It was a slow song, and, like, that's just how I kind of felt that day. It's like, yo, this song really this beat really resonates with me, and then it manifested itself in a song called Nick's Room. So 4 a.m., like, I've always been like the kind of wild, I wouldn't say the creative one, we all have our own creative tendencies, but we all specialize in certain things. Like for me, I'm just kind of like a wild card. And so I'm like, all right, bet, we're gonna put this thing down, bang. But, you know, I really wasn't into singing at the time. My older brother, he raps, so I was just trying to, you know, be like Big Bro and rap. And then Corley, you know, he also does whatever, but in his own way. So then, you know, our friend Lance, he's one of the masterminds behind things, you know what I'm saying? Call him Lanjo, shout out to my boy, you know what I mean? And so he was like, okay, yo, like, Nick, you do your verse, you say the hook, and then Corley, like, sing on top of the hook. And then Corley was like, well, you don't do that. So then he was like, you gonna do that? And so that's what happened. And then it manifested into a little song. And it was like, well, I kinda like the little background vocals and Cortland trying to get up there, you know what I'm saying? So that's just how it was.
The feelings that I used to have, I had. Now it's in the past, and I can't lie, it was a blast, but it crashed. She said it's not gonna be what I expected. Nigga, I swear you gonna regret this. Some dots weren't connected, so it's newsflash. I expect nothing and I regret less. I just had to do what's best for me. don't think I'm acting selfishly. I was too busy making you happy that I ended up neglecting me. And now I found a better fit. Wounds and scars on my heart, she took care of it. Ain't nothing back to fun and serious. It was all a learning experience.
Yo, Young B had some knowledge, bro. So like the first verse, like for me, that's the point where you realize that like, dang, like maybe this relationship and this girl I'm with may not be for me, you know? But then it's like, yo, we done like been going places, we done did this, we done shared feelings, we done invested emotions and stuff like that. So it's like, yo, like, what do you do with that and how do you move forward? And so like, yeah, like it started off as a blast and then it crashed, you know what I'm saying? It's like the rocket ship. Like, you know, in the beginning you take off and then like you think you about to go to the moon or whatnot, then next thing you know, you falling back to earth. And you get into realizing that like it's not necessarily as good as it may seem. And so for me, I guess just kind of realizing that you can take the good and the bad from a relationship, but then also like use that to constructively build yourself and try to better yourself and realize that, okay, maybe like I ain't meant to be with this person, but I can take what I learned from being with this person and apply it to my next relationship and do better there. And I guess like that's something I got into in part 2 was like, well, like in the second verse, it's like, you know what I'm saying, talk about the next girl I met and how, shoot, she's just getting over whoever she talking to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm doing better and you doing better, but like from a different view. Like the first part is talking about me and my ex, and then the second part talk about me and the next girl and how we both doing better having moved on from my past relationship. So then like we had to figure out, okay, what are we gonna do with this song, right? So we gonna try to release it. And then so it was like, all right, how do we release this? You know what I'm saying? So I probably hit up Lance. That's probably what happened. He just put together a little movie maker video, put it up on Facebook, and you know, tag like all, you know how you put people up and you just tag everybody on the little video or whatever, and people checked it out. It was like, there was some mixed views, definitely, because it was like, a lot of people was like, oh man, like y'all going hard, or like your family, like I remember my pop specifically, he was like, man, shoot, man, you gonna, you know, this right here, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, family always gonna be your biggest supporter. So, like, that's like, good. And, like, I was happy about that. But then you got, like, the girls being like, you know, especially, like, those who, like, knew the situation. They was like, how could you put this up on Facebook and, like, XYZ? And I was like, oh, like, I was just, you know, trying to express my feelings. Like, I was just looking for no smoke like that. But I caught it. It became apparent to me that music was an outlet for me to, like, explore and deal with my emotions and like what I'm going through and what's on my mind by just channeling it through music. Because like especially when you're freestyling or like you're not necessarily writing something down, like you literally just like putting stuff out that's either like from the heart or that's like been on your subconscious. And like for me, just like being able to kind of clear that has always been like beneficial and restorative to me, because man, my mind go 10K a minute, and it's like I need to like slow it down or get things, you know, out when I can. Now, like I didn't really realize it at the time, but like looking back in hindsight, like this song Nick's Room was probably like where one of my niches as an artist like began, like exploring relationships, the dynamics of those, the aftermath of those, the, you know, the effect it has. You know, I could only really truly speak from my own experience as like, I can't even say as a black man, but just as Nick, you know what I'm saying? And people can relate to it, how they feel, you know? But I definitely see how like Nick's Room kind of served as a launch pad for the niche that, you know, I'll probably be putting music out into for years to come, and that, you know, exploring those relationship dynamics, like, you know, as I'm moving through my own life, you know, and I'm searching for finding love, you know, and growing in that, you know, how to convey and hopefully help and lead other people to find themselves and then also find love in other people. The biggest thing for me is just like, okay, I like music and I want to do that. How can I do that going forward? And then how can I continue to grow in my artistry? Like from 2010 to even 2013, we went from recording into a computer in Movie Maker to getting recording software to getting a mic. And so like it's always been about progression and like how can we do this better? And like even fast forwarding now to 2018, like I'm still finding myself in that same position. Okay, how can I do this better? Like, you know, how can I improve my quality? How can I improve my artistry? Like, you know, how can I improve my songwriting ability? Like, am I conveying what I want to convey in a song?